think it's absolutely crazy how a diabolical ending can ruin what is otherwise a really enjoyable film. I will not spoil anything here, but towards the end of this discussion, I will explain the ending. So just be warned, slight spoiler towards the very end, but I will give fair warning. The Princess Switch was released in 2018. It's a directed film. It's a Netflix film directed by Mike Roll, written by Robin Burnheim and Megan Metzger, and stars Vanessa Hudgens, who I really enjoy. You know, I've seen her in several films of this nature, and in this one she is playing two characters. She is playing Stacy de Novo and Lady Margaret. I will say, I have a lot of thoughts about this, so my thoughts might be quite scattered. I haven't written them down, so forgive me if I start going off on a tangent. The premise is simple. Stacy is a baker in Chicago, and she gets the opportunity to take part in a baking contest in Belgravia, which I didn't assume was Belgravia in London, but turns out that it is. They filmed this baking contest in Wembley Studios. The interpretation of the British TV and film industry in this is a little bit peculiar, but that's an aside. That is not that important. The main concept of this revolves around Stacy and Lady Margaret, who look identical. They bump into each other by pure chance, realize they look identical. Lady Margaret decides that she wants to switch places with Stacy for a couple of days before her wedding to the prince, mainly so she can just experience what it's like to not be a duchess, but to just be an everyday girl. And of course, Stacy has this opportunity to switch places with a duchess and takes her up on that. It's quite nerve-wracking. I always find these films quite intense when, characters have switched lives, because I'm always waiting for somebody to say something or do something that's really cringy that will give the game away. I always find them really quite dramatic. But ultimately, it's all right. I do find that Stacy was agreed a little bit too readily to the switch, and I feel like they didn't encounter as many pitfalls, specifically with Lady Margaret. Stacy actually has Lady Margaret's, I don't know what's her, she's not a maid. The word I'm looking for is gone, but the person who assists Lady Margaret with her day-to-day calendar is aware of this switch, so she's there to guide Stacy and treat her how to behave, in front of the other royal family members. But Lady Margaret seems to just fit right in with the real world, maybe a little bit too easily, and that I didn't think was that convincing. But Vanessa Hudgens gave an absolutely brilliant performance, and I'm going to assume that they filmed all of one character and then all of the other. I don't imagine she would have been switching back and forth between the two characters, several times in the same day. Maybe she was. If she was, even more impressive. But either way, I feel like she made each character suitably different. And to the extent where, although they are wearing the same clothes pretty much throughout it, even if they weren't, you'd be able to tell which character is which. I really thoroughly enjoyed her performance. Her English accent was very good, very accentuated, but that's the entire point. And I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it all until the ending. So this is where the spoiler comes in. So just to sum up, the narrative is nothing spectacularly new, but it's still interesting. The execution of the narrative throughout was not always believable, but still enjoyable. The other characters in this, the supporting cast, all very good. Vanessa Hudgens, stellar performance. Spoiler, the ending is so ridiculously unrealistic. Now, usually with these kind of things, you need to suspend disbelief, because even if two identical strangers did meet, the odds of them switching places and getting away with it for any longer than 5 minutes is unrealistic. But with this, bearing in mind they switched places for 2 days. In 2 days, both of the royals, actually, Lady Margaret and also the prince, fell in love with, different characters from the other person's life. The prince fell in love with Stacy, and Lady Margaret fell in love with Kevin, Stacy's dear friend. And it's absolutely ridiculous how desperate in love they were by the end of this, after 2 days of having known that person. Yeah, usually this happens a lot in rom-coms. Couples will express their love after maybe a couple of weeks or months of dating. But they knew each other for 2 days, and even then they didn't really know people because they weren't who they said they were. And it just ruined it completely because it was so unbelievable. I couldn't suspend disbelief. And I was really disappointed that they had to take it so dramatically. But did it ruin my memory of the film? For the most part, no. I still have fond memories of watching it. I say memories, it was today. But I still think of it fondly. But they really let themselves down with how ridiculous that ending was. Would I suggest you watch it? Yes, if this is your kind of film, I think you'll like it. There is a sequel. I don't plan on watching it yet. Maybe I will at some point. If you think it's worth it, let me know. There are 2 sequels, or a second and third film. Maybe I'll check them out at some point, but the ending for this has just made me really wary. The film itself, not bad.